Hey Daydreamers, it's Alex, and today I'm going to share with you some of the series that I have on my shelves that I have started and not finished. So I think I said in my goals video that one of my goals is to finish some of the started series on my shelves, and so I thought I would share with you what those series are, and you can tell me which ones I should prioritise this year. So these are all series that are complete as far as I know, so I'm pretty sure that all the books in these series are out, but I may be wrong. But that is my aim, is to complete the series that are fully out. So let's get into the books. So first up I have Grace and Fury by Tracy Banghart. I read this one I think a few years ago now, and I really enjoyed it. I wasn't really expecting much from it. I think it came in a fairy loot, and I only really read it because it came in the fairy loot, so I had it, and I ended up enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. It really pleasantly surprised me, so I'm really excited to finish the series. This one's just a duology, so it'll be nice and short and quick to finish. Next up we have Hollow Earth by John and Carol E. Barrowman. This is a middle grade series. I listened to the first two on audiobook, and the third one is not on audiobook, so I haven't finished it yet. To be honest, I don't super love this series. I'm mainly just reading them and keeping them because they're written by John Barrowman, who was a Doctor Who actor, and I love Doctor Who, and I got them all signed when I met him, so I'm not going to get rid of them, and I would like to just finish off the series just because I'm over halfway through it and I have all the books, and so I may as well just close it out. And I know I'm not going to get rid of these, but they weren't necessarily the best or my favourite thing ever. Next up I have Three Dark Crowns by Kenda Blake. I'm not sure what this series is called either. Once again, I read this one a really long time ago and I really enjoyed it, and I've just been waiting for the whole series to be out before I reread this one and carry on with the series. That has now finally happened, and I got the last book, book 4, for Christmas, so I can finally finish this series, and I'm really excited. I'm also excited to reread this one because I remember enjoying it, but I remember being a little bit confused by it, and I don't know if that's just because I read it too fast and didn't really take it in, so I'm excited to reread this one to see if I can get a better understanding and then to carry on with the series. Next up we have a series that I only started in 2020, so it's not been on my half finished series list for too long, and that's the Devabad Trilogy by S.A. Chakraborty. This is The City of Brass. Like I say, I read this one last year. I don't think it was too long ago. I think it was maybe September or October, and I'm really excited to carry on with this series. I really enjoyed this one. I do actually have the rest of the series on my January TBR, but I don't know if I will get to it, but I'm really hoping I do because I really enjoyed this one and I really want to see where it goes. Next up is one that I kind of don't mind being on this list, and it is the Miss Marple series by Agatha Christie, and I don't mind it being on this list because they're not like one storyline over all of the books in the series. The reason this is a series is because they all follow Miss Marple. It's not like they all follow the same storyline, so I'm not forgetting any details that I need to remember by having long breaks in between. But I would still really like to finish the Miss Marple books because I want to finish them before I move on to the Poirot books, and I would like to try those too. So hopefully this year I will make some more progress. I think I'm about halfway through the series at the moment, so I've not got too much longer to go. I always find these really quick reads, and I'm really excited to read more because I love them so much. Next up we have The Last Namsara by Kristen Cicerelli. I think that's how you say your name. I read this one again quite a while ago, I think when it first came out, and I loved it. Absolutely loved it. It was so good. And again, I've just been waiting for the whole series to be out. I think it might all be out by now. I think book 3 came out in like a weird tall paperback, and I've been waiting for it in this normal paperback size, which it might be out in by now and I just haven't checked. So hopefully I'll be able to carry on with this one really soon. This next one I've put on my completed series that I want to finish reading list because I think it is a completed series, but I'm not 100% sure because I didn't even know it was a series in the first place until last month. And that is Ready Player One by Ernest Cline. Book 2 came out in December. I didn't realise it was going to be a series until then. And I really loved Ready Player One, Book 1. So I'm really excited to read the next one. I'm also excited for the opportunity to reread this one because I don't reread much unless I have a reason to, like carrying on with the series. So I'm quite excited to be able to reread this one and dive back into this world. Next up we have the Cell 7 Trilogy by Kerry Drury. I was very surprised by this one when I picked it up. I saw this in Asda and I was just kind of drawn to it, and I didn't know why because I picked this up at a time in my life where I was just completely gone off dystopian books. I just was not interested in them at all. I'm still not really, but this one I absolutely loved. It was a 5-star book even when I wasn't into dystopian books. I think the whole series has been out for a while now, and I don't know why I haven't read the last book. I only have the last book left to read, and I still haven't picked it up, and I really, really want to. And at this point I've forgotten what happened in the first two, so I'll have to figure something out with that, whether I reread them or just find like a recap on the internet. But I really, really hope I get to book 3 of this series this year. Next up we have the Caraval series by Stephanie Garber. Once again, I read this one ages ago, and I was waiting for the rest of the series to be released before I carried on and before I reread this one. This is another one that I really, really want to reread because the first time I read it, I got right towards like the climax at the end, and then I got sick and didn't read it for 3 days, and it really, really pulled me out of the story. So I really want to reread this one and have it experience it in one go instead of with this huge gap in between. Next up I have the Dark Days Club, or Lady Helen and the Dark Days Club I think the series is called, by Alison Goodman. This one I've kind of been putting off a little bit because I really, really, really enjoyed book 1, and then I read book 2 maybe a year after I read book 1, and I didn't reread book 1 before I read book 2, and I didn't enjoy book 2 as much, and so I've been putting book 3 off a little bit, but I would really like to give it one last go. Maybe this will be one I reread to see if rereading book 1 kind of rekindles my enjoyment for this series, and it would be nice to finish it off finally. Next up is just like a middle grade series, just a fun series that I would like to finish. I have all the books and I just need to actually finish them. It won't be till next December now, and that is the A Boy Called Christmas series by Matt Haig. I think I read this one at Christmas in 2018. It's been a while now. I've been meaning to carry on with the series for so long and I just keep not getting to it, and I would really, really like to finish it because this one was really cute and really festive, and I love reading festive books, but I like to keep them in December, so I'm probably not going to finish this series now until December 2021. Next up I have the Rebel of the Sands trilogy by Alwyn Hamilton. This is another one where I only have the last book left to read and I've just not been getting to it, and I don't know why because I really enjoyed books 1 and 2, and yet for some reason my brain is just like, you don't want to read book 3. Books 1 and 2 weren't good, but like they were good, and I don't know why I keep thinking that. So this is another one that I really want to try and finish this year finally, and this will definitely be either a reread or a recap online type situation because I remember nothing. Next up I have another one that I'm not sure is actually a completed series, and that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. There is a sequel to this one out, which I would love to read, and I don't know if that's going to be the whole series. I would really like to read it, so I'll just try and get to it this year. Hopefully it's one of those situations where it follows the same characters but a whole new storyline, so that I don't need to go back and reread this one, because my brain doesn't let me reread books. It's very annoying. Next up I have a series that isn't actually complete as of now when I'm filming this, but it will be completed this year. The last book is coming out in January, so very soon. And it's also a series that will make Blue really happy that it's on my list, and that is the Curse So Dark and Lonely series by Brigid Kemmerer. I really enjoyed this book when I first read it, and also how pretty is that? And I just really want to carry on with the series and see where it goes, and I'm looking forward to reading them. Next up is another one that isn't completed yet, but the last book is coming out this year, and that is the Girls of Paper and Fire series by Natasha and Yarn, I think. The sequel to this book is one of the books that Beth picked for me to read this year, so I will definitely be continuing this series this year, and I may as well wait until book 3 is out, and then I can marathon the whole series and complete this series this year, which will make me very, very happy. So we're on to the last 2 series that I want to complete. This next one is another one that I started in 2020, and it's another one that I would really like to finish this year because I really enjoyed this first book, and that is the Mistborn Era 1 trilogy by Brandon Sanderson. This is the Vinyl Empire. I really, really, really enjoyed it, and I really can't wait to read book 2 and 3. Quite a few people are reading them at the moment, I think, and it's just making me want to drop everything and pick them up instead of what I'm currently reading. So I am so excited to hopefully finish this series this year. And the last one is a much older series, so it's kind of a series broken up into smaller series, if that makes sense. So I read the first trilogy years and years and years ago, maybe like 10 years ago, so long ago, and I absolutely loved it. Like, it was so good. It was one of my favourite series at the time, and I never carried on with the next 2 trilogies, so I really, really want to carry on with those this year, hopefully. I think me and Blue are going to try and buddy read them, and that is the Chronicles of Ixia by Maria V. Snyder. So I've read the first 3 books, and then I have I can't remember what the series is called, but it's Stormglass, Sea Glass, and Spyglass, I think. And then I have the 3rd trilogy, which comes back to following the characters in this book, and I just really want to finally finish up these books because I love the first trilogy so much, and I want to reread the first trilogy as well to see if I still love it as much as I did, and then I want to carry on and finally complete this series. So those are all of the series that are complete that I have started reading and not yet finished. Let me know which ones you think I should prioritise this year and finish up first. Let me know in the comments, and which ones are your favourite and everything. Keep an eye out for Beth's video on Wednesday and Blue's video on Friday, and I will see you next time. Bye!